Did the Chiefs get exposed?
Yeah, they got exposed. And I'm not going to go absolute and say fully exposed, but certainly some thigh is out. You know what I mean? A little bit. Kim K photo shoot, a little bit. Like, what's going on? Little Ivy Park ad, you know what I'm saying? What's Beyonce up to? Here's the thing. You can see the pimple on this team right now. It's right there on their nose, and it's time to bust it, and it's time to talk about it. It's time to talk about the team that can't run the football and can't stop the run. Is that a formula for success in today's NFL? I don't think so. When you're 29th in rush offense and you're 32nd in rush defense, you got problems. And you know what these problems are going to lead to? Teams starting to understand what the formula for success is. Just run the damn ball. Cleveland Browns almost found that winning success against them, but the Baltimore Ravens did by running the ball. Two things are accomplished when you run the football. Obviously, you're going to pick up yards and move the chains, but two, you're going to take a chunk of flesh from your opponent that they're not going to be able to recover from. Let's talk about the chunk of flesh. Chunk of flesh. When you line up against the offensive lineman, you can look in his eyes, and you can see the sweat dripping, and you can see him over there breathing real hard like a raging bull ready to come at you. And you're sitting there saying, there's only two things that can happen. My coach, my rookie year, told me, Marcellus, calm the hell down. Why you over there running like Tasmanian devil? Only two things going to happen. He's going to run block you or pass block you. Calm down. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool, right? Because in your head, you're thinking all these things. He's like, he coming this way or he going to go backwards. But when they come at you, and you know they're coming at you, moment of truth, trenches, pop. And you know the only way they're going to get something out of this play is moving me that way, and they actually do it, then they line up again and say do it. Oh, that's way different than an aerial attack where I'm trying to run around you and play a game of adult freeze tag, and he's trying to push me away from the quarterback. That takes the soul out of a team. And right now, it's starting to take the soul out of these Kansas City Chiefs. Not only is that occurring to their team on defense, you know what's happening to their team on offense? Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, others, great players sitting there, Gatorade, towel on, waiting for their opportunity, time of possession, clock ticking. And we still giving up points. It's a big problem right here, man. Chiefs, 28th in scoring defense. That's not good. Chiefs, worst total defense in the league. That's not good. It's going to add up against this team if they don't hurry up and fix those issues.
So they ain't get exposed. I like your take, though. I like your take. You said that my Chiefs got a little bit of thigh meat out. They showed a little bit of thigh meat.
Ooh, that thigh out.
I like the take. But here's the kicker as I look at it.
Lord.
The Chiefs didn't get exposed because there's only one team that can do to the Chiefs what was done to the Chiefs.
Let's hear it.
The run game that the Baltimore Ravens displayed was a fictional run game. I've talked to one of the great offensive run game coordinators of college and pro, and they say that quarterback run game isn't actually a true run game because it's not that run game that makes the defense hurt and sour. Nah, quarterback run game, you get out schemed.
Yeah.
Here's why the Chiefs did not get exposed. They lost to a talent that is one of one. You lost to a talent that there's no other Lamar Jackson in the NFL. Kyler Murray ain't him. Josh Allen ain't him. There is no other Lamar. So you can't expose me if there's only one particular scenario in which exposure occurs.
You sure?
So if you or I were walking around in street clothes, we're not exposed, but say we walk into an MRI machine, well, all of a sudden we exposed. Because the MRI machine, you can now see some things that a person with normal vision cannot see. Lamar Jackson is not normal, nor does he have normal vision.
That's right.
So I'm not counting the Kansas City Chiefs as exposed because they were in a particular situation, a particular predicament that is non-repeatable. Now, sure, you go to a doctor's office, all of a sudden, even if you're closed, they can see through that. But in your everyday life, if you're closed, you Gucci, you're not exposed. In the Chiefs' everyday lives, they are not exposed. Now, when you run up against the Baltimore Ravens, different issue. Last counterpoint before I hand the mic back to you.
Man, you give me that mic back.
Let's remember the Chiefs won the Super Bowl with the 23rd ranked rushing offense. Won the Super Bowl with the 26th ranked rushing defense. So although they couldn't run the ball and they couldn't stop the run, they still won the Super Bowl. So I do not look at their inability to run the ball nor stop the run as exposure, particularly while we're in, as you just said last block, a passing lead.
Man, will you stop? How many yards did Tom Brady have in the Super Bowl? I remember this number, 201 yards in the Super Bowl. They won that Super Bowl. Did the Chiefs score a touchdown? Was that a blowout loss? Passing league, though, huh? Okay, how come? You know why? Because you got to be efficient when you have the ball, throwing it, And you just got to keep eating up that clock and pounding these boys. Man, look, and it's not just one team. Be real. Cleveland Browns should have beat them. Like Cleveland could have, of course, but you know, if you're on Cleveland, you're like, we should have, right? So, and how? Because they got that two-headed monster. And it's crazy that if I'm looking at the Kansas City Chiefs, you're looking at teams that realize now, okay, we're going to learn how to punch. We're going to learn how to box with you. We're going to learn how to jab with you, counterpunch. But more importantly, you look at Baltimore, especially, not Cleveland as much, but Baltimore, they could throw that one-hitter quitter. They throw Lamar at them down. That's special. But teams going to realize, oh, Kansas City is amazing, but there's a way to outbox them. Just take this slowly, methodically down the field and take chunks of flesh and take their soul with you. Look, if you look at this team right now, they're allowing 202 yards on the ground per game. It's only 2 games. But we haven't seen a team this bad since the 1977 Chiefs. Worst in the league this year. Dog, this is bad. This is porous. You're not supposed to be in this predicament. He's the ultimate eraser in Patrick Mahomes. Is he going to be erasing anything from the sidelines? And that's what a running game allows you to do. Control that clock.
Everybody, including you, has to calm down, though, Sel.
I'm going.
Greg Roman, offensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens. His last 9 years as an offensive coordinator, he's had a top 10 rushing offense.
Yes.
His last 8 years as an offensive coordinator, he's had a top 5 rushing offense. His last 5 years as an offensive coordinator, he's had the number 1 rushing offense. The Ravens did to the Chiefs what the Ravens do to everybody and their mama. That's not exposure. If the Ravens did something that was an outlier, if the Ravens did something that they don't normally do, if the Chiefs allowed something that doesn't normally happen, I'd be like, man, they got exposed. But they went up against the number 1 rushing offense the last 5 years, the number 1 rushing offensive mind in Greg Roman the last 5 years. Of course they ran the ball. Water wet. It's hot in the summer. Of course what happens always happens. So to me, so it ain't exposure. If what happened to the Chiefs can happen again, I'll give you that. But realistically speaking, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, ball got punched out going down to win the game. Realistically speaking, Ty Matthews still got a pick 6. Chiefs still got another pick on the 3rd drive of the game. So what the Chiefs do to win the games, they still do. It's just what happened that game happened.
Did Cleveland run for 150?
Second best rushing offense?
Yeah. So you're trying to tell me if they face any of the top rushing offenses, which Baltimore make the playoffs? I think so. Cleveland gonna make the playoffs? I think so. Oh, you're gonna run against those boys. 36 minutes of time of possession. Patrick Mahomes only has 24 minutes to operate. Now, he put up 35 points because he's Patrick Mahomes. Good Lord. It's like, it's weird, and this is the age-old conversation. Defense wins championships. Yeah, but you can't stop a great offense, right? The greatest defense you can have is a better offense, right? But these teams now have an adequate offense. Cleveland, above-average offense in Baltimore and Cleveland, running the football, but then playing good enough defense to keep them in ball games versus the Kansas City Chiefs and their defense, they can't stop anybody. So you can say, go Mahomes for 24 minutes, but there's going to be a point where he can't go anymore. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers figured that out, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers totally exploited that. It's funny that we always talk about the Kansas City Chiefs like this huge dynasty. You do this. They've won 1 ring. 1 ring. And I don't know how this year is going to play out, but you know that Baltimore can win it this year. And then Baltimore and Kansas City, Mahomes and Jackson have the same amount of Super Bowls. Like, in your mind, you can't even fathom that right now. Like, Patrick Mahomes, to most people, in their minds, is so far ahead of the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson. If this works out for the Ravens, 15 guys on IR. Last team I saw ball like this with that much of a mass unit, 2010, Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay Packers. They won the Super Bowl. 15 guys on IR because somehow that fist gets tighter grip when you realize, oh, it's next man up and I'm ready for the moment. We'll see if Kansas City can fix their ills because if not, Baltimore and Cleveland are on their heels.